All right, Shalom Makim, Zahad Spirit, we in Judah of the GMS Mississippi camp, giving our honor and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, by Shem Kakudash. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. All right, and what I want to go into today is a live stream entitled "The Mark of a New Era." All right, the mark of a new era. Okay, all right, and basically I'm going into this because as you get into the scriptures and you tap into the spirit, man. The spirit be dealing with you. You really see that the destruction of Babylon, that's a mark of the end of one era and the beginning of another era. All right, and there are two different people that embody each one. All right, and just in short, Jacob embodies the era of righteousness, which is the era or the age that we are about to enter into. All right, the age of immortality. All right, Esau embodies the age of wickedness, the age of death. All right, starting in the garden with the serpent, starting with the transgression of Adam. That was the beginning of the end. That was the beginning of corruption, all right, in the earth, which is you have the combination of the transgression of Adam now, because it's just death all around us, man. All right, but I'm going to get this. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna get Second Ezra first. I guess that could be the foundation right there. Second Ezra 6 and 7. All right, since I've already said that. All right. And how are you brothers and sisters doing? Hope y'all day is well, considering the fact that we're in Babylon. All right. Second Ezra 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? All right. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. All right. That's spiritual. All right. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Now tell a Christian to break that down. Esau was the end of the world, man. Esau was the end of an era. Esau was the end of an age, all right? And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, going back to Genesis, the 25th chapter, all right? Let me make sure I got that right, don't want to misquote it. Going back to Genesis, when Esau was born first, but Jacob held his heel, all right? That was a representation, all right? There's Genesis 25 and 23. All right, but that was the representation of two people that are going to not only be the progenitors of two different nations, but they're going to be the representation of righteousness and wickedness being played out on the planet Earth. All right, and Esau, the rulership, that's a representation of wickedness. All right, being played out on the planet Earth, man. All right, Sirach 33, and let me see where I can start. All right, Sirach 33 and 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So I looked upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. All right. So Jacob and Esau, like I said, represented that contrast of behaviors, man. Righteousness and wickedness, which is that description was there in their manners. It said, Esau was a cunning hunter, but Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. All right. But those were the progenitors, all right, of what was going to manifest on the planet Earth is wickedness and righteousness. All right. But there's always a mark. All right. There's always an event. All right. That marks the end of an age, man. For example, the flood on the planet Earth. All right. During the time of Noah, that was the mark of an end of an age. That was the great reset. All right. That was the mark. And that's why they call it antediluvian world, the world before the flood, the pre-flood world. That was an age in itself. Okay, that was an age in itself. All right, so let me get that in Peter's. All right, Peter's chapter 3, verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to get this one yet. I'm going to get 2 Ezra 7 and 43. All right. I'll just hold that one right quick. 2 Ezra 7 and and 43. 1 second. Yeah, 2nd Ezra 7 and 43. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time and the beginning of immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. All right, so it's at the day of doom, all right? It's at the day of doom shall be the beginning of the end of this time and the beginning of immortality for to come. So, and it shows you that split between Esau and Jacob's kingdom. What's that? The nuclear destruction of Babylon, man. That's the split. That's the mark between two rulerships on the planet Earth: the rulership of wickedness and the rulership of righteousness, man. All right, I'll read that again. 2nd Ezra 7 and 43. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time and the beginning of immortality for it to come, wherein corruption is past. All right, but we just read in 2nd Ezra 6 and 7 that Esau was the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. But in 2nd Ezra 7 and 43, it basically embodied Esau's rulership as the end of this time, and Jacob's rulership is what? The beginning of immortality, man. Okay, so America being destroyed, that's going to be the mark of an end of an age and a mark of a beginning of an age, man. It's the Great Reset, man. The second Great Reset. Now I want to get 2 Peter's, all right? 2 Peter's chapter 3, verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. See, 2nd Ezra 7, we just went into what? The day of doom. Now it's getting into detail as to what entails the day of doom, all right? Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved. And that's the description of thermonuclear destruction, mainly in America and other countries as well, all right? And the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and it shows you that in the movie Terminator, man, when the nuclear wind causing all the elements in the creation of men to be dissolved with fervent heat, that nuclear fire, all right? Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. All right. So to have righteousness is to have immortality, because righteousness is the beginning of immortality, man. All right. Because the righteousness is going to be embedded in us. But it goes right into 2nd Ezra, where it says the day of doom should be the end of this time and the beginning of immortality. It's going to be immortality because we're going to have those new bodies, those new tabernacles. Okay, speaking of, all right, see, Esau represents death. Esau he represents the age of death, man. That's why the world is mourning, because death is ruling the planet Earth, man. All right, but Jacob represents what? Life. Okay, Jacob represents life. This is 1 Corinthians 15. All right, 1 Corinthians 15 and 53. For this corruption must put on incorruption, talking about those new bodies, and this mortal must put on immortality. For when this corruption shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? All right? Because the end of Esau is the end of death. All right? For the 12 tribes of Israel, that is. Okay? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks be to the power, thanks be to Yahweh, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. All right? But going back to the end of an age, all right? The day of doom, America being destroyed, that's going to mark the end of an age of wickedness, the end of an age of death. But it's also going to mark the beginning of the age of Jacob. All right, the beginning of the age of life, the beginning of the age of immortality, man. All right. That's why it says in Isaiah, there should be no more crying. There should be no more wars in the cities. In these inner cities, it's wars, it's warfare, man. All right. We went from slavery, all right, to basically hell on earth, man. Okay. Let's see what else I got. And I can just go to close it out. I guess it's a pretty relatively quick live stream. All right. Revelations 21 and 1. It says, and all these scriptures, they tie into one event. All right. Revelations 21 and 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. All right. The first heaven and the first earth, the first rulership, the first age, the first era of who? Esau. The age of corruption, the age of wickedness, the age of death. All right, which was under the rulership of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, but the new heaven and the new earth, pursuant to 2nd Ezra 6 and 7, was the age of Jacob. All right, the age of righteousness, the age of immortality, the age of life. But there's going to be a mark, all right, that separates the end of Esau's era and Esau's age and the beginning of Jacob's age. And what is that? Thermonuclear destruction. That mushroom cloud, man. That's the mark of an end of an age and the mark of a beginning of an age, man. All right. Let me see if brothers had anything on the comment board. Okay, I guess I just close it out with that. But with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, HaKadosh, double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of great millstone, rule well. Peace and blessed to us, David the elect, Abba, Abba, Kumashallah, Shalom.